Hello everyone. 2025 is just around the corner. That might feel distant, but if you stop and think about how quickly time flies, you'll realize it's closer than we imagine. The question is not just how much time we have, it's what we do with it. Today, I want to share with you 5 things you absolutely must do before 2025. These aren't lofty goals or vague aspirations. They are tangible, actionable, and deeply transformative. Let's dive in. Embracing vulnerability is often misconceived as a sign of weakness, yet it stands as one of the most profound indicators of courage and strength. In a society that frequently equates invulnerability with resilience, allowing oneself to be vulnerable requires immense bravery. It involves the willingness to expose one's true self, to risk emotional exposure, and to face the uncertainty of outcomes. This openness is not about indiscriminate sharing, but about engaging authentically in relationships and experiences, even when there are no guarantees. Vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. When we dare to step into the unknown, we open ourselves to new possibilities and growth. By embracing vulnerability, we foster deeper connections with others, as it allows for genuine interactions free from the masks we often wear to protect ourselves. This authenticity cultivates trust and empathy, essential components of meaningful relationships. Embracing vulnerability enhances our capacity for empathy. When we acknowledge our own struggles and imperfections, we become more attuned to the experiences of others, fostering a sense of shared humanity. This empathetic connection not only strengthens interpersonal relationships, but also contributes to a more compassionate and understanding society. In the realm of leadership, vulnerability is a critical asset. Leaders who are willing to admit mistakes, seek input, and show their human side create environments where innovation thrives. Such leaders inspire trust and loyalty, as their openness encourages team members to contribute ideas without fear of judgment. This culture of openness leads to more dynamic and resilient organizations. Embracing vulnerability also plays a pivotal role in personal development. It requires us to confront our fears and insecurities, leading to greater self-awareness and emotional intelligence. By facing these aspects of ourselves, we build resilience and the capacity to navigate life's challenges with greater ease. This journey of self-discovery is integral to leading a fulfilling and authentic life. It's important to recognize that vulnerability is not about oversharing or exposing oneself indiscriminately. It's about making conscious choices to show up authentically, to engage in difficult conversations, and to be present in the face of uncertainty. This deliberate engagement fosters personal growth and enriches our interactions with others. Embracing vulnerability is a testament to our strength and courage. It enables us to live more authentically, connect more deeply with others, and navigate the complexities of life with greater resilience. By redefining vulnerability as a strength, we open ourselves to a richer, more fulfilling existence. Defining your non-negotiables is one of the most powerful acts of self-awareness and intentional living. These are the values, priorities, and boundaries that you refuse to compromise on, no matter the circumstances. They are not mere preferences or fleeting desires, but the foundation of who you are and what truly matters in your life. When you define your non-negotiables, you create a clear framework that guides your decisions and aligns your actions with your authentic self. Non-negotiables are deeply personal and unique to each individual. They might encompass things like family, personal integrity, mental health, or the pursuit of a passion. What makes them significant is their unwavering nature. These are the principles you hold on to even when tested, even when life becomes complicated, and even when you face pressure from external forces. Without them, you risk being swayed by the demands and expectations of others, losing sight of what truly fulfills and defines you. The process of identifying your non-negotiables requires deep reflection. It starts with asking yourself what you value most and what you cannot imagine living without. For some, it may be spending quality time with loved ones, prioritizing health and wellness, or upholding honesty in every interaction. For others, it might be the freedom to explore creativity or maintaining a sense of adventure in life. The key is to identify what resonates deeply with you, not what society or others expect you to prioritize. Once identified, non-negotiables act as a compass. They help you navigate through decisions, big and small, with clarity and purpose. When faced with choices, you can evaluate whether they align with your core principles. This alignment brings a sense of peace and confidence, even in difficult situations. For example, if one of your non-negotiables is maintaining a healthy work-life balance, you'll recognize when to say no to additional commitments that threaten your well-being. If honesty is non-negotiable, you'll find the strength to speak your truth even when it's uncomfortable. Living by your non-negotiables also sets a powerful example for others. When you honor your boundaries and principles, you inspire those around you to do the same. It creates a ripple effect, encouraging authenticity and respect in your relationships and communities. People will come to understand and appreciate your values, and those who align with them will naturally gravitate toward you. Defining and upholding your non-negotiables is not always easy. It requires courage to stand firm, especially when faced with opposition or judgment. There may be times when honoring your principles means making sacrifices or walking away from opportunities that don't align. But the alternative, compromising on what matters most, comes at a far greater cost. It can lead to resentment, burnout, and a feeling of living a life that is not truly your own. By defining your non-negotiables, you take control of your life's direction. You create a framework that ensures your time, energy, and attention are invested in what genuinely fulfills and sustains you. This is not about rigidity or inflexibility. It's about honoring the essence of who you are. When you live in alignment with your non-negotiables, you build a life that reflects your values, respects your boundaries, and nurtures your deepest sense of purpose. Fear is a natural and universal human emotion. It warns us of danger and keeps us alert to potential threats. However, fear can also hold us back, keeping us locked in a cycle of hesitation and avoidance. To live a fulfilling and meaningful life, we must learn to turn fear into action. This doesn't mean eliminating fear entirely. Fear will always exist, but learning to harness it as a source of motivation and strength rather than allowing it to paralyze us. The first step in transforming fear is acknowledging its presence. Many of us try to suppress or deny our fears, thinking that admitting them is a sign of weakness. In truth, ignoring fear only gives it more power. When you name your fear, you take the first step in reclaiming control over it. Say to yourself, "I'm afraid of failing," or "I'm afraid of rejection." By articulating your fears, you bring them out of the shadows and into the light, where they can be understood and addressed. Understanding your fear involves looking at what's beneath it. Fear often thrives on uncertainty and the stories we tell ourselves about worst-case scenarios. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These questions can spiral into self-doubt and inaction. But when you pause and ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? And what's the best that could happen? You begin to see the bigger picture. Fear loses some of its grip when you balance it with possibility and potential. The next step is reframing fear as an opportunity for growth. Fear often points to areas where we have room to stretch, learn, and evolve. If something scares you, it's usually because it matters to you. For example, the fear of public speaking often stems from a desire to communicate effectively and make an impact. Rather than running from fear, lean into it. Recognize that the discomfort you feel is a sign you're stepping outside your comfort zone, which is where true growth happens. Taking action in the face of fear doesn't have to be dramatic. Start small. Break down what seems like an overwhelming challenge into manageable steps. If you're afraid of starting a new career, begin by researching the field or connecting with someone who's already in it. Each small step builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Action, even if imperfect, creates a sense of progress and diminishes fear's hold on you. Fear is also a great teacher of resilience. When you act despite fear, you build evidence that you are capable of overcoming challenges. Even if the outcome isn't perfect, you learn that you can survive setbacks and keep moving forward. This resilience strengthens your ability to face future fears with courage and determination. Surround yourself with people who encourage and support you. Fear can feel isolating, but having a community or mentor to lean on can make all the difference. They can offer perspective, remind you of your strengths, and help you see possibilities you might overlook. Turning fear into action is not about being fearless. It's about being brave. It's about recognizing that fear is a natural part of the journey, but not letting it dictate your path. When you face fear with courage and take intentional steps forward, you reclaim your power, expand your potential, and open the door to a life of growth and fulfillment. In a world increasingly dominated by technology and fast-paced living, cultivating genuine connections has become more essential than ever. While social media and digital communication have given us the tools to stay in touch with countless people, they often lack the depth and authenticity required to nurture meaningful relationships. True connection goes beyond surface-level interaction. It involves vulnerability, trust, and an investment of time and energy. Genuine connections are the foundation of a fulfilling life, offering emotional support, joy, and a sense of belonging. Cultivating genuine connections begins with showing up as your authentic self. This means being willing to let down your guard, sharing your true thoughts and feelings, and allowing others to see the real you. Authenticity is the key to building trust, as it signals to others that you value the relationship enough to be open and honest. While it can be tempting to present a polished or idealized version of yourself, especially in the early stages of building relationships, true connections are forged when both people feel safe being who they are, flaws and all. Listening is another vital element of genuine connection. Too often we listen to respond rather than to understand. Cultivating deep relationships requires us to give others our full attention, to hear not just their words, but the emotions and intentions behind them. Active listening shows that we value the other person's experiences and perspectives, creating a space where they feel seen and heard. This simple act can strengthen bonds and deepen trust. Vulnerability plays a crucial role in forming authentic connections. It is the willingness to share your thoughts, fears, dreams, and challenges without the certainty of how they will be received. While vulnerability can feel risky, it is also incredibly rewarding. When you open up to someone, you invite them to do the same, fostering a sense of mutual understanding and trust. Vulnerability is not about oversharing, but about choosing to engage in meaningful conversations that build emotional intimacy. Genuine connections also require time and effort. In a busy world, it's easy to let relationships take a backseat to other priorities. However, meaningful connections don't happen by chance. They require intentionality. This means scheduling time to connect, whether through phone calls, shared activities, or simply being present in the moment. Small, consistent efforts like checking in, expressing appreciation, or offering support can make a significant difference in strengthening bonds. Respecting boundaries and differences is another essential aspect of cultivating genuine relationships. Every person is unique, and part of building a strong connection is recognizing and honoring those differences. This includes understanding each other's communication styles, personal preferences, and life circumstances. Mutual respect fosters a safe environment where both parties feel valued and accepted. Celebrating each other's joys and supporting each other through challenges solidifies genuine connections. Being there for someone during their highs and lows demonstrates your commitment to the relationship and builds trust. Life is richer when shared, and those moments of mutual celebration and empathy create memories and bonds that last a lifetime. Cultivating genuine connections is a deeply rewarding process that enriches our lives. It requires vulnerability, intentionality, and the courage to be authentic. In return, it offers a sense of belonging, mutual support, and the profound joy of knowing and being known. Genuine connections remind us that we are not alone, and through them we find meaning, strength, and love. Investing in self-reflection is one of the most valuable practices for personal growth and self-awareness. In a world that constantly demands our attention, where distractions are abundant and time feels scarce, the act of pausing to look inward can seem like a luxury. But self-reflection is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It is the process of examining your thoughts, emotions, actions, and beliefs to understand yourself better. Align your choices with your values and navigate life with greater clarity and purpose. Self-reflection begins with creating space for stillness and introspection. It can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly, away from the noise and distractions of the outside world. This practice allows you to tune into your inner world, where true understanding begins. In this space, you can ask yourself meaningful questions. What am I feeling right now? Why did I react that way in a particular situation? Am I living in alignment with what truly matters to me? These questions, when explored with honesty, reveal insights that can lead to profound growth. One of the most powerful benefits of self-reflection is gaining clarity about your values and priorities. Life often pulls us in multiple directions, and without regular reflection, it's easy to lose sight of what's truly important. By taking the time to evaluate your choices and the motivations behind them, you can identify whether they align with your core beliefs and long-term goals. This clarity helps you make more intentional decisions, reducing feelings of being overwhelmed or directionless. Self-reflection also enhances emotional intelligence. When you take the time to examine your emotions, you become better at identifying patterns, triggers, and underlying causes. This awareness allows you to respond to challenges more effectively rather than reacting impulsively. Understanding your emotions also fosters empathy, as it helps you recognize similar struggles in others, improving your relationships and communication. Another critical aspect of self-reflection is learning from past experiences. Life is full of lessons, but they can only be absorbed when we take the time to reflect on them. What worked well? What could have been done differently? Self-reflection transforms mistakes into opportunities for growth and turns successes into foundations for future endeavors. It shifts your mindset from being stuck in regret or complacency to one of continuous improvement and adaptability. Practicing self-reflection doesn't have to be rigid or formal. It can take many forms, such as journaling, meditating, taking reflective walks, or having honest conversations with trusted friends or mentors. What matters is the consistency of the practice and the willingness to confront both the light and shadow aspects of yourself. It requires vulnerability to face uncomfortable truths, but this courage is rewarded with a deeper sense of authenticity and self-respect. In a society that often values action and productivity over introspection, investing in self-reflection is a radical act of self-care and empowerment. It enables you to understand who you are, what you stand for, and how you want to show up in the world. By taking time to reflect, you cultivate a stronger connection with yourself and unlock the clarity and resilience needed to navigate life's complexities with purpose and confidence. Choosing growth over comfort is a decision that requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. While comfort zones provide a sense of safety and familiarity, they can also act as barriers to progress and self-discovery. Growth, on the other hand, often lies on the other side of discomfort, requiring us to take risks, face challenges, and confront our fears. The decision to prioritize growth over comfort is not always easy, but it is essential for reaching your full potential and leading a life of purpose and fulfillment. At the heart of choosing growth is the recognition that staying comfortable often means staying stagnant. Comfort zones feel safe because they are predictable. They shield us from failure, judgment, and the uncertainty of trying something new. However, they also limit opportunities for learning and achievement. Growth, by contrast, involves venturing into unfamiliar territory where mistakes and setbacks are possible. Yet, it is through these experiences that we build resilience, gain new skills, and expand our understanding of ourselves and the world. Choosing growth means being willing to take on challenges that stretch your abilities and push you beyond your limits. It might involve pursuing a career change, starting a difficult conversation, or learning a new skill that initially feels daunting. The discomfort that comes with these endeavors is a natural part of the process. Instead of resisting it, reframing discomfort as a sign of progress can help you embrace it. Each step outside your comfort zone is an investment in your future self, a version of you that is more confident, capable, and empowered. One of the greatest obstacles to choosing growth over comfort is fear of failure, fear of rejection, or fear of the unknown. However, it is important to remember that fear is often a companion to meaningful growth. It signals that you are stepping into something that matters to you. By acknowledging your fears and moving forward despite them, you cultivate bravery and resilience. Every time you face your fears, you prove to yourself that you are capable of handling challenges, which builds confidence for future endeavors. Choosing growth also requires a mindset shift. It involves adopting a growth mindset, which sees challenges as opportunities for learning rather than threats to avoid. This mindset encourages curiosity and persistence, allowing you to view obstacles as temporary and surmountable. Instead of striving for perfection, focus on progress. Celebrate the small victories and lessons learned along the way, as they are the building blocks of long-term success. Another essential aspect of choosing growth is surrounding yourself with people who inspire and support you. Growth is rarely a solitary journey. Having a network of mentors, friends, or colleagues who challenge and encourage you can make the process more enriching and manageable. These connections provide accountability, perspective, and motivation when the path gets difficult. Choosing growth over comfort is about honoring your potential and embracing the fullness of life. It's about recognizing that the discomfort of stepping into the unknown is temporary, but the rewards of growth, self-discovery, resilience, and fulfillment are lasting. By consistently choosing growth, you create a life that is dynamic, purposeful, and uniquely your own. Celebrating progress, not perfection, is a mindset shift that fosters resilience, self-compassion, and long-term growth. Perfection, while an appealing ideal, is often unattainable and can lead to frustration, procrastination, and burnout. Focusing on progress, however, allows us to appreciate the journey, recognize our efforts, and find motivation in the steps we take toward our goals, no matter how small. This approach is not about lowering standards, but about embracing the reality that meaningful achievement is built on consistent effort and learning. Perfectionism can be a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it pushes us to strive for excellence, but on the other, it sets an unrealistic expectation that every outcome must be flawless. When we fall short of perfection, it's easy to spiral into self-doubt or feelings of failure. This mindset can be paralyzing, making us hesitant to take risks or even start new endeavors. By contrast, focusing on progress shifts our attention to what we've accomplished and what we can learn from each step. It transforms setbacks into opportunities for growth rather than reasons to give up. One of the most empowering aspects of celebrating progress is the ability to acknowledge incremental achievements. Too often we overlook the smaller wins in pursuit of a larger goal. For example, Someone working on improving their health might only celebrate reaching their ideal weight or fitness level, neglecting to appreciate the effort it took to adopt healthier habits or increase their stamina. Recognizing and celebrating these milestones reinforces the sense of accomplishment, which fuels motivation to keep moving forward. Progress is a series of steps, and every step matters. Celebrating progress also encourages self-compassion. It reminds us that growth and change are not linear. They are filled with ups and downs, trial and error. Being kind to ourselves during setbacks is essential for maintaining momentum. When we focus solely on perfection, any deviation from the ideal can feel catastrophic, leading to harsh self-criticism. In contrast, when we celebrate progress, we learn to view setbacks as part of the process. This perspective fosters resilience and helps us bounce back stronger. The emphasis on progress rather than perfection also allows us to stay present in the moment. Perfectionism often keeps us fixated on an imagined future where everything is ideal, while progress encourages us to appreciate the here and now. It invites us to find joy and satisfaction in the effort we're putting in today, rather than delaying happiness until some distant achievement is realized. This shift not only enhances our sense of fulfillment, but also makes the journey itself more rewarding. Celebrating progress is not about settling or becoming complacent. It's about recognizing that growth takes time and that each step forward, no matter how small, is meaningful. This mindset encourages consistent effort and a willingness to keep trying even when the road is challenging. By focusing on progress, we build a foundation of confidence and resilience that allows us to pursue our goals with greater determination and satisfaction. Progress is what propels us forward. Perfection may be an illusion, but progress is real, tangible, and deeply empowering. By celebrating progress, we honor the journey, appreciate our efforts, and cultivate a sense of pride and purpose that fuels us to keep striving, learning, and growing.